It was time, and Jacob pondered the moment. Light from a nearby lamppost that began failing a month ago flickered through a window and danced off the foil paper and ribbons. The remainder of the light played off patterns of cowboys, clowns, balloons, hot rods, and other symbols of a boy's progression of age and interests. And as the light followed upward along the pile of impeccably wrapped packages, some of the paper flaking with age, the images became less playful, indications of a boy becoming a man. Despite his parents' insistence that their son open his gifts on each occasion they were presented to him, Jacob held fast to keeping the gifts wrapped and intact. From an early age, Jacob realized that toys were quickly relegated to a collection of objects, often left on stair steps or in the line of tires in a driveway, cast off when a new plaything arrived. And the enjoyment he received from engaging them could not rival the joy his parents gleaned from the anticipation of him opening the gifts they had chosen for him. And his pleasure derived from the gifts could not equal Jacob's extraordinary connection with his parents. And it was that anticipation alone that gave Jacob's mother and father immense joy, calculable only by the more than 9 decades they had eagerly waited for their son to open his gifts, compounded anticipation, from birthday to birthday, holiday to holiday, that became a life force unto itself. And now Jacob, at the plea from his parents, their constitutions faltering in this, their 12th decade, understood it was time to open his gifts on this, his 100th birthday. Jacob stood behind his seated parents, his own legs struggling to support his spindly frame as they pondered his gifts, stacked from floor to ceiling in a room barely large enough to contain their affection. His delighted mother, in a suddenly robust voice that erased decades, implored Jacob to start with the gifts at the bottom, collected at his youngest. Jacob tugged at the package buried beneath a voluminous assortment of gifts. Once free, Jacob, adjusting his thick glasses, read the attached greeting card. To our dearest Jacob, on his 7th birthday. May all your wishes come true, except the one about never having to clean up your room. With lots of love, Mom and Dad. The arthritis in Jacob's hands made it difficult to remove the bright blue bow that complemented the wide-eyed cartoon fish on the wrapping paper, but he persisted, revealing a brightly colored box as his parents grasped one another's hands. Before removing the lid from the box, Jacob paused and turned to his parents, from his mother's to his father's eyes, capturing a vitality about to be incrementally diminished. His father implored him to continue. Go ahead, Jacob, please, please. Jacob held the box to his hearing aid, playfully shaking it. Don't break it, chirped his mother. If you break it, Big George won't take it back. Jacob didn't know if she was joking or not, because Big George's toys and hobbies disappeared beneath the weight of a department store some 60 years ago, which in turn gave way to a massive mall, now a rarely visited maze of empty stores and lonely tiled tiers of walkways. Beneath the lid, a tin wind-up mouse driving a fire engine waited to be propelled across the room. His parents delighted in watching Jacob twist the key and send the toy skittering, disappearing across the long room toward his childhood. The wind-up toy was followed by a red wagon with flames that Jacob playfully tapped at with his foot and cane. Then Tinker toys, plastic army men, a baseball glove, an erector set, time capsules. Years and decades were defined by gifts of transistor radios and iPods, bellowed film and digital cameras, walkie-talkies, and cell phones. And with each gift Jacob unwrapped and opened, time slowed, faintly softening to the beating in his parents' chests. The children of the Mameki-Dubra people of New Guinea customarily create yearly sealed boxes of gifts for their parents' birthdays, known as Sanke Palea, which means never open. 9-year-old Amasa Solik spent the better part of 2 months paring the golden sap and fallen bark of a chakota tree, layering piece after piece to create a rectangular box, a foot squared, with intricate sculptings he'd carved of indigenous animals decorating the outside. Inside the box, the boy placed a number of stones equal to the number of birthdays of his parents. The box was permanently sealed with more sap and bark before being presented as a gift. Year after year, the boxes, growing progressively heavier with each passing birthday of a parent, adorned the home as works of art, displayed over the lifespan of both parents. When Amasa's father passed on, as is custom to the Memeki Dubra, the boxes would be assembled and joined like pontoons, a ceremonial raft that carried the body out to sea. And when the sap seals of the vessels submitted to the prodding of the relentless seas, the weight of the stones assisted in carrying the body to its final resting place. As Jacob opened the last gift, revealing a blue knitted cable sweater, he joked how he'd be warm whenever he rode his newly unwrapped scooter earmarked for his 10th birthday. The blue of the scooter curiously matched the shade of the sweater that Jacob slipped over his shoulders, and the sound the wheels made as he playfully spun them with his foot blended with 2 last breaths nearby. Jacob rose slowly, gazed into the faces of his mother and father, and as he switched off the light, the afterimage of their beaming smiles burned indelibly eternal.